Okay, so for those of you out there who are newer to football, you might be wondering, like, what's up with this Aaron Rodgers guy? Seems like every week he's talking about some wild shit on a podcast, you know, all these weird reports about who he's dating, the hallucinogenics, the drugs, the darkness retreats, and him just being weird to his teammates. But please, do not let that define who Aaron Rodgers is to you. Because at one point in time, he was, and possibly still is, the most talented player in NFL history. I mean, he had so many moments that are still to this day unreplicable by any player to ever play this game. And it is a damn shame that people look at this guy as nothing more than a cranky old man nowadays. And so, without further ado, I just want to have a few minutes of your time to discuss why Aaron Rodgers very well might be the greatest quarterback to ever play football. So Aaron Rodgers entered the NFL in a very interesting way, because just like the quarterback that would eventually replace him, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers slipped on draft day and was drafted to the Green Bay Packers, except he was not in line to play immediately, as he sat behind Brett Favre, who was fresh off a 4,000-yard, 30-touchdown season for the Packers, and wouldn't get a shot to play because, you know, Hall of Famer in his prime, and he had to wait. And it took him years. 3 to be exact, to get his chance. But when he finally did get the keys in 2008, the Packers only won 6 games, so it wasn't exactly the legacy-defining first season you might expect from a player like Rodgers, but did he come out swinging? Because in his very first career touchdown pass, he set the tone for the next decade of football with whatever the hell this play was. So when you see plays like that, I mean, you know Aaron Rodgers has something special in him. And from there, he just kept doing that over and over and over again. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was so ahead of his time, it was not fair. I mean, I know sidearm throws and plays like that on the move are common nowadays, but back in 2008, trust me, they were not. Rodgers was entering a league dominated by your classic pocket passers. Brady, Manning, eventually Drew Brees, and hey, that playstyle obviously works, but Aaron Rodgers was the type of guy that paved the way for this new exciting type of quarterback play that we see today. The freestyle modes of Patrick Mahomes, and even now like Drake May. And if I had to describe Rodgers in one word, I would say effortless. He was strong, he was creative, he was aggressive, and he could make any throw on the field if he felt like it was necessary. And he made it all look so easy and natural, and that's what separated him. While other guys were grinding out yards, Rodgers was out there dotting up masterpieces while barely breaking a sweat, controlling every element on the field. But before we continue with me screaming about random football things, I want to talk to you about something that has saved my sleep schedule in many ways. Barely. Perplexity made a $2,000 browser, and it's now completely free if you use the link below. Yeah, a browser that has apparently cost more than my entire editing setup, and they're just handing it out for free. And there are so many things that you can do, and for example, let's say you just want to add some things to your shopping list, and as you can see here, it's in agent mode right now, and it's doing the work for you, ordering food, booking stuff, organizing notes. The AI agent is working in the background entirely for you, and I've used it to order food while editing. It can set reminders for me to basically do a piece of homework. It can summarize 40 pages of NFL history all for me in a second, and you can watch YouTube with 0 ads as well on it because Comet is its own browser. It takes no extensions, no pop-ups, just peace. And when I'm researching on the 2023 Eagles, for example, instead of 17 tabs and 3 breakdowns, I just drag the article in, Comet's AI agent collects info, organizes it, and keeps it going with that blue halo, and it gives you all the information you need. So, if that sounds great to you, then go to the link in the description, and like I said, you will get a $2,000 browser for free. And if you use the link in the description as well, or the pinned comment, or the QR code on the screen, then you will also get 30 days for free as well. So, if that sounds good to you, give it a shot, and thanks to Perplexity for sponsoring this video, and without further ado, let's get back to the video. So with this freestyle quarterback style, Rodgers would hit the 4,000-yard passing mark for the first time in his career in 2008. Then 1 year later in 2009, he earned his first Pro Bowl selection with 4,434 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. And not only that, but he went toe-to-toe with Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner in the wild card of the playoffs and played in one of the greatest playoff games of all time versus the Cardinals. One of 2 games just like that. But His heroics fell just short as a fumble would end the game, but damn, did he play an amazing game, and the Packers knew they had a future legend on their hands. I mean, that was his first taste at a playoff game ever, and he had 423 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 121 passer rating. Just unreal stuff, and he would go on to build upon that as 2010 he somehow leveled up as he was now established as a legitimate Hall of Fame future quarterback. And the defense he now had was backing him up too. I mean, he had Clay Matthews to patrol the middle of the field. Charles Woodson was coming off a Defensive Player of the Year type campaign. And now the regular season was a 10-6 record, which is nothing crazy, but when the playoffs rolled around, a whole new version of Aaron Rodgers was unleashed, and boy, was it special. In the wild card round against Philly, 3 touchdowns. In the divisional round against Atlanta, how about 3 more? Against the Falcons in particular, too, we had reached peak Aaron Rodgers form. This man was becoming a playoff legend as well because he was bouncing around the pocket, shredding tacklers, and firing absolute lasers on the move. Even when his guys were completely covered, Rodgers just had a one-of-a-kind way of leading his player to the perfect area and putting it straight into the breadbasket of his receivers and allowing them to make a play. His ability to continue throwing with such insane accuracy while moving and making off-platform throws was a superpower that you will never see better on any quarterback in the history of this game. I mean, he completed 86% of his passes and had 36 attempts on the day, completing 31 of them for 366 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. And if that wasn't enough, he also tacked on a rushing touchdown as well, giving the defense a nice pump fake before turning the corner and getting into the end zone. And that was the NFC Championship game, which led them to the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers versus Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. And Big Ben just got cooked on the biggest stage as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers punched them in the mouth right away, and they looked like they were going to blow them out. But the Steelers fought back, and a defensive turnover sealed it for the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers walked away with a Lombardi trophy in just his 3rd year as a starter, and the entire world looked like it belonged to Aaron Rodgers, and it did. Because I can't even begin to tell you what Aaron Rodgers did in 2011. He had the greatest season, fuck by a quarterback, but by any player in any sport ever. The hallmark for efficiency in sports was set by Aaron Rodgers in 2011. He threw for 4,643 yards, had a 9% touchdown percentage. 9% of the time he dropped back to pass, he threw a touchdown, and had a passer rating of 122.5. The highest by any quarterback in a season ever, given the volume, had 45 touchdowns and just 7 interceptions across a whole season. He had a 100 passer rating in every single game that year except for just 2 of them. And it wasn't just that he was making insane plays every single week. It wasn't just that he could not be stopped and the Packers had a 15-1 record. It was just unrelenting quarterback mastery all season long. And to me, this goes down as the greatest quarterbacking season ever. And I don't know what else to say, man. No one will ever touch this season. The only other quarterback to even crack a 100 passer rating this season was Tom Brady at 105.6. This was still an era that hadn't fully embraced the past like it is today, and he was just so above and beyond everyone during his time. So yeah, Rodgers had the most efficient quarterbacking season ever and won the MVP. But what's crazy is if you go down to who's second place on the all-time passer rating leaderboard, you'll see Aaron Rodgers again. I mean, he again, in 2020, had 4,299 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Like, are you serious? And that won him his 3rd MVP award, and he won another one in 2021, giving him 4 total MVPs as of now. But there is some criticism about Rodgers' game still to this very moment. People say that he isn't clutch because in recent years, or in his final few years in Green Bay, things were not ideal. He was never able to capture another Super Bowl, and he fell to the 49ers a multitude of times in his career. But if you look at all of his postseasons combined, he's completed 64% of his passes for 5,894 yards, 45 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions, which is pretty amazing. And time again, he just continues to pull out all-time great plays that no quarterback can do. Think his 2015 Hail Mary versus the Lions. Like, no one does that. For any player, that is an all-time highlight, and it would have defined their career, but for Rodgers, he's done it multiple times. Hell, he even did it with the Jets out of his prime versus the Bills, and he even did it twice in the same game versus the Cardinals in a game that they lost because, well, his defense wasn't able to hold on. And he just has so many similar plays to that get forgotten. He had another Hail Mary against the Giants in the playoffs, and then in the divisional round against Dallas another year, he had a masterpiece deep in his own side of the field, facing 3rd and 20 with just 10 seconds left on the clock. I would argue in this position, there is no quarterback you'd rather have more in NFL history than Aaron Rodgers. And guess what happened? Aaron Rodgers found Jared Cook for one of the greatest throws in the last 15 years, and this set up a game-winning field goal. I mean, I could continue to fanboy all day, I really could, and whether it's pure skill, or talent, or longevity, or toughness, or the ability to deliver in big games, prime Aaron Rodgers just clicked all the boxes that are available here. He was that dude, and for fans who have been confused by media appearances, or underwhelmed by his time in Pittsburgh or New York so far, I don't know what else to say, other than he's kinda old now, and once upon a time, Aaron Rodgers was truly untouchable, and he deserves to be up there with the best of the best. You can argue there is no one more talented in the game of football itself than Aaron Rodgers, as by the end of his career, he will likely throw for over 65,000 yards. He has over 500 touchdowns. He's 6th and 4th all-time respectively in those categories, and there's even more to it. Because if you look at efficiency, it just gets stupid. Entering 2025, Aaron Rodgers has thrown just 116 interceptions in his career. That is a 4.321 touchdown to pick ratio, the best ever. He's the only quarterback with over 500 touchdown passes and fewer than 150 interceptions. His 1.4 career interception rate is also the lowest ever. And yeah, he also owns both the highest and second highest single season passer ratings in league history. This is what I call legendary and one of a kind. So yes, you could argue that he should have accomplished more, that his one Super Bowl ring isn't enough to stand up to guys like Manning, Brady, and potentially Mahomes, but I'd argue that that's just not true. In the game of football, you can only really control so much, and although yes, he did have his shortcomings, but so did every single quarterback, and when he was at his best, there was no answer for Aaron Rodgers. There will never, ever be another quarterback like Aaron Charles Rodgers again. But anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe, because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one. And if you did like this video, watch this video I did a while back on Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay and how he was never able to capture another Lombardi. It's pretty good, trust me. But thanks to all my patrons for pledging tiers. It truly does mean a lot. But anyways, until next time.